As you can see, still cogs a little bit. See, that's have to do a little programming that might help that, but as you can see, in the okay, lowered the gear ratio, put in a 13 tooth pinion, and did that help the cogging? Let's see. Let's try reverse. A little bit, but not much. I'm not pulling on the trigger that much. Let's go on some higher grass and see if it makes a difference. Before, I used to clog real bad in high grass. Nope. Starts out really good. Let's try reverse again. Little bit. I'm just touching the trigger. If I punch it, see what happens. Unlike brushless motors, the brushless motors are not driven by a consistent current flow to the armature of the motor. The brushless motors are driven by pulses. They are three-phase motors, and they have three-phase pulses that pulse the armature, the part that spins the pinion gear in the car. Well, to get started, everything has to be synchronized in timing, and that's the job of the ESC. So when it's not, or when there is a excessive load on the motor at startup from 0 RPMs to 1, 2, 10, 20 RPMs, that motor hesitates and it struggles, and the ESC struggles to become synchronized, and that's what's happening. The cars that we upgrade, the DRC cars, the 9201s, I've been talking about the series about upgrading the cars. You notice they didn't have cogging when you first buy it with the brushless motor, but when you upgrade it, and I used the Surpass Hobby motors, which is a good economy motor, it's not the best motor. They tend to cog or hesitate when under a stress load, and we're going to talk about how we can relieve that. Here we have the DRC 9201, and this is a recent project I have. You can tell because it's all nice and clean. And yes, I bought a second one. I had purchased got a special deal on the Surpass motor, the Surpass Hobby motor ESC. It's the typical, or the 60 amp ESC, and as you can see, it's nice and clean. And on this model, I actually put in the proper servo, because I found out that the servo to put in there, and I'll put a link to it, but it's actually the same servo that's in this car, and it's the exact same servo. So if you go online and search for the servo for the MJX Hypergo 14210, this is the same servo here. So the servo is mounted upside down right here. It's the exact same servo. So that made it real easy. So now it's a nice clean install, and almost don't want to run it because it's so nice and clean, but it's made to have fun. Alright, so I've already removed the screws for the pinion gear cover, pinion and spur gear, and here it is right here. So you see this is the standard setup right here. So go ahead and pull it out. So what I found that helped reduce the cogging for me is to replace this pinion gear. This is a 22 tooth pinion gear, and what I did was I bought pinion gears that I thought might be a replacement for it, and I did it by trial and error. On Banggood, they send you sets of pinion gears, and I kept getting smaller and smaller until I got the one that fit, and the one that fit for me is the 13 tooth pinion gear. DRC did a good job, a good thing of making the motor mount plate off center. So if you remove if you look at it right now, you see it's off center. This side is bigger than this side. So basically all you have to do is remove the pinion gear, turn the plate over like so, and these are just placeholder screws. That's why they're just coming out. And then put 13 tooth pinion on, and you're pretty much good to go. And that's it. And so that's neat because you don't have to do any special cutting or special modifications. And another advantage of this, it gives you a higher torque, so you get more punch taken off, and also it improves your braking. It's going to actually reduce your top speed. So if you are insisting on getting the top speed with a larger or with the standard gear, you might want to find another solution to stop the cogging, which is going to be more expensive. You're going to have to get a better quality motor like a hobby wing, or you might have to get a sensored motor. These motors, the lower end motors, are called sensorless. And so, but in terms of economics, this is the best solution. And you'll see in my video that it made quite a difference. And here it is with the new pinion installed, the 13 pin pinion gear, and it's a very good fit. Now, one thing I had to do in going back with the putting the cover back on, I noticed that when you push the cover back on, it doesn't want to go down all the way. And so what you'll have to do, and what's preventing it, is that with the motor moved over like that, it's actually hitting the support right here at the top. And so it will not go down all the way. So if you look at it, it's kind of teetering like that. That's because it's actually hitting the motor. So what I did to resolve that, and what I'll do with this one, is you have to get a knife and shave it. You have to be very careful because you can cut your hand. And so that's what I did on this one, and I'll do it on this one as well. I actually took a knife and shaved it, and if you look at it, you can see where I kind of shaved it. And you take your knife, you shave it, and that gives you plenty of space to secure the cover without damaging the strength of the support. Okay, since I have to do it anyway, let me show you how I did it. I did this, and the best way is to take all this loose and do it before you secure your wires to here, but you can do it this way. I did it this way, and I turned it this way, and I got a knife, and I shave just like that. You can see that, and that works pretty good. Let's keep on going. Let's see, it's like that, and hope you all don't see me cut my hand on this video. I'm usually pretty good with this. And so I'm just kind of shaving it a little bit near the rear part. you have to have a sharp blade. If it's dull, that's how you really hurt yourself. You don't hurt yourself with a sharp blade. You hurt yourself with a dull blade. It's because you push harder and you may miss, and that causes a problem. So it's looking pretty good here. Let's see, shade a little more. So let's do a test. Let's see how it looks. Retract the blade. And clean up a little bit. And let's see. Put it back. Let's see if it goes on. Okay, so it's actually hitting right in this part of the motor. You can kind of see there. It's actually hitting there. So that's where you have to shave the most, right here. So I'm going to do that again. Flip it. Turn the car. And shave right down here. I'm going to take a nice little amount off now. Carefully holding it. Okay, you can see that there. Adjust my camera a little bit so you all can get a good view. And being careful because I want you to see it, but I don't want to cut my hand. So you see I'm cutting a little more here. Make sure the motor's in place. Okay, that's pretty good. There. Hear that pop? It is in place. Uh-oh, let's see. There. That looks pretty good. And so you just keep doing that until you got enough. Maybe. Okay, so just to let you all know that the shaving does bring it down, and it actually clears the motor. It makes it so that the support part of the cover does clear the motor. However, it doesn't go all the way flush as it would when you had the 22 tooth gear on. So basically, the screws pull it closed, but there's a slight gap. Let's see if I can show it to you. There's a slight gap there, right there. And so I can close it with my thumbs, and that's the best I can get it. Because what I believe is the motor moves over, and it's actually blocking, or it's actually hitting one of these plastic things in here. It might be that, and keeping it from going all the way down. I don't want to shave that, so I'm going to just put the screws down and keep it. And in fact, it's worked fine on my other car. On this one, as you see, it's just this one. It's perfectly tight on that one. Looks good. What you might notice is a little stiffness when you first put the new gear in, the new pinion, but it works its way out pretty fast. I mean, what I found is you notice the difference just by pushing it back and forth on the table a little while, or on the floor. You notice that it just works its way out pretty fast, and eventually, when you run it, it'll be like this one. I ran this one several times, and it's just like the original. It's just as smooth as it can be, and there's no signs of wear. So that's not a real concern. But for me, definite improvement. Oh, remember to do something good for yourself. Do something good for your community. Do something good for your people, and you can be someone good for the world. RC Pro.